laughing about something. No, we weren't fake laughing. We were laughing about something.
Yeah, you
were
probably thinking about what's this crazy guy, Joe Shasky, going to say tomorrow morning.
I knew that's where it was going.
Mully, I wake up just for Shasky's takes.
I know he does.
Chuckle.
Shasky. He did get my name right, though.
I'm surprised we didn't play the We Ready. Even though this is just, to me, a normal regular season game, it is a measuring stick game tonight for the Warriors. I am so excited for Nuggets Warriors. I've told you for a long time, the NBA schedule can, and like baseball, it can get a little monotonous. It can get a little dry throughout the year. You're going here, you're going there, and certain games don't feel like they have juice. That's why I'm all in on the in-season tournament, because at least it gives me a little, again, 1% extra. Tonight, I feel like, again, it's not the end-all, be-all. It doesn't mean much to Denver in my estimation. But for the Warriors, even with Jamal Murray not there, this is a great litmus test game.
Well, we'll get Mike Singer, formerly of the Denver Post, at 9:30. Mike Singer, I was texting with him this morning. He's going to join us later. He's tapped in with the Denver Nuggets inside and out. He knows his team. And it's all about Jokic. Jokic can go down as one of the best big men of all time.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Like, the heater he's on right now, and you got Aaron Gordon from San Jose, Archbishop Mitty alongside of him. He's bought all the way in. I thought his run in the finals, defending LeBron James, defending Kevin Durant, defending Jimmy Butler in the NBA Finals, who they play in the first round. I think he was trying to defend Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Aaron Gordon has bought in, so I want to get into him and Jokic. And, of course, you got Michael Porter Jr. Unfortunately, Jamal Murray will be out today with the hamstring injury. But you know what? It is what it is. You got to stack wins. And it's all about the Warriors, right? It's all about the Warriors continuing their good habits, not turning the ball over. The passing numbers, they got up to 291 against the Denver Detroit Pistons. So continue to stack wins, continue to build good habits, and get Andrew Wiggins jump-started.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. And to me, it's irrelevant who's playing, who's not playing. Because if you looked at the Warriors' schedule, they've actually been very lucky. They've been the benefactor of multiple players missing games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for example, De'Aaron Fox being compromised. They've had some opportunities and some breaks, but that's the NBA season. Last year, nobody cared that Wiggins missed months on end. Nobody cared that Steph Curry missed a lot of time. So as far as I'm concerned, you play with what you have, and let's see what we've got here. It is interesting. It doesn't feel like it because the Warriors have kind of changed their roster a little, but this should be billed as these are the last two NBA champs facing off.
No doubt.
Right? And I'm kind of surprised there isn't as much buzz about this is last year's champs versus the year prior's champs.
Well, maybe because there was no basketball yesterday. There's no games on the slate.
That's a good point.
You know, and maybe today when we start the day, you get the NBA Live on ESPN, you get NBA TV, and then you get Fitz and Buki, and I'm sure Fitz is going to drop that. These are the last two champions on the floor. I definitely thought about that. These are the last two champs. And that first-round series between the Warriors and the Nuggets a couple years ago.
Great series.
It went only 5 games. And remember, there was no Jamal Murray and no Michael Porter Jr. He only played 9 games that year. That was a close 5-game series.
It was.
It was closer than what the series indicated.
JP went off in that series.
JP did go off in that series. People have revisited his history about Jordan Poole's playoff run.
Was that
Jordan Poole was fine.
Steph came off the bench.
First 4 games.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to think of what it was.
And in Game 5, he started. And Denver was up double digits most of that game. The Warriors had to rally and win that basketball game. And a lot of guys had to play out of their roles. Aaron Gordon had to play out of his role. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had to play out of his role. So they're going to be better. That series was close. And I'm sure Denver and Mike Malone, they've only got 1 loss. They want to win this basketball game. They would have proved that, hey, the West goes through Denver, not Golden State, not L.A., not OKC, not Minnesota. It goes through Denver. So I think Denver, on their side of things, they want to measure themselves against the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry.
And they lose Bruce Brown in free agency, which is a big loss for them, right?
Huge. But they get Christian Brown, the rookie out of Kansas from a couple years ago, second year. Yeah. He's got a lot of experience.
But don't you want to see him matched up against our second unit? Because I'm looking at this right now. This is an intriguing wing game for me. I don't consider Aaron Gordon a wing per se, but he can give you the length and he can give you that athleticism that a lot of the wings can give you. Michael Porter Jr., I want to see Kuminga and Wiggins against those guys. I want to see Moses Moody out there. I want to see what Chris Paul can do against the young guy who you referenced. I think this is very intriguing.
Well, I wonder about the cross matchups. Will Gordon guard Clay? Will he guard Andrew Wiggins? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, we know he's going to guard Stephen Curry. And he does a good job
He's
at
an
times
excellent player.
guarding Stephen Curry. I think he does a good job of guarding number 30. Now, 30's had some big-time nights in the Pepsi Center. Or, excuse me, it's Ball Arena now. Ball Arena out in Denver, Colorado. So, the cross matchups here is going to be very intriguing. Aaron Gordon, where is he going to roam? Where is he going to float? And then, of course, how do you play Jokic? Well, you want to get Jokic involved in every pick and roll, every motion, every split action, every set you run. You want to get Jokic involved in because that's how you wear him down. However, on the other side,
Yeah, you got to attack him.
the things you got to take away from Jokic, you got to take away the passing. Turn him into a scorer. And I know that's crazy, right? It sounds like, Fonte, what are you talking about? I'd rather him be a scorer than getting everybody else involved. And when he's dropping 9, 10, 11 assists, and then he's got the scoring going on, then he's bringing the ball up the floor, then he's rebounding. Now you got the total package, and now he's dropping triple doubles on you, and now you got no shot. Now you're making every basket here. So, you know what? I got to take away his passing. If there's anything you take away from Jokic, take away the passing. Just say, Jokic, you beat us. We got to shut everybody else down.
But you know what's difficult is that he'll get the rebound and then bring it up the court himself.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He can
lethal.
initiate offense in a unique way that some of the other guys can't. He's got a lot of Draymond elements in that sense. What about Jonathan Kuminga? B, I saw this floated out last night, and you and I have kind of alluded to it, but here is the hard data on Jonathan Kuminga the last 3 games. In the first half, last 3 games, 2 points, 1 of 15 shooting, 5 turnovers, 4 fouls. In the second half of the last 3 games, 42 points, 15 of 22, only 1 turnover and 3 fouls. What do you make of that?
So this is something that we've touched on over the last year with Jonathan Kuminga. We talk about this. We discuss this on a postgame show a lot. Kuminga gets better as the game goes along. It's happened throughout the course of his career. Early on, he's trying to get the flow. He's trying to get the feel. Goes for a couple pump fakes. He may commit some silly fouls, some loose ball fouls. He may turn it over a couple times, has some bad shot selections. But the more he plays, and this is why I say youngsters need to play. This is what's hindering James Wiseman. Now, James Wiseman may not be able to play in this league. That may be, and we may be dead wrong about that. He may not be able to play. But Kuminga, you see the potential there. As the game goes along, he gets better and better and better because he gets the feel of it. He starts to understand the scouting report. He starts to understand the personality he's playing against. Because, I could take this away. So he learns on the fly. He learns by playing. And so when you get to these second halves, like Friday against OKC, you get to 17 points, you get the lockdown defense. This has been the story of his young career. This is why it kind of drove me crazy with Steve Kerr. It's like, just let him play through the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because as the game goes along, he plays better and better. So that data that you just cited there, it doesn't surprise me at all. And it just tells me that he needs to play more. The more he plays, the better he gets. The more he plays, when you give him short stints and he commits a couple fouls, then you just put him on the bench, he's not getting better like that. Let him play through the mistakes.
Furthermore, don't you think that it's just easier for a point guard to come into a game and get themselves acclimated? Ball goes to them. They can go at their pace. They can kind of set people up. They can get their own shot if they need to. When you're not a catch and shoot guy, because that's not really Kuminga's. He can, catch and shoot, but that's not his strength. It takes a minute to get acclimated to the flow of the game. And I think that, when we look at some of these bench players, like some of the best bench players tend to be guys who can come in and just grab the ball right away. Ginobili, Lou Williams, right? Like Chris Paul right now is proving that. They can control pace, tempo. They get the rock immediately. Some of the other good players off the bench, just over the course of the last 20 years, guys that are catch and shoot. Because they can just go in there and they don't have to kind of force it to get their own shot. There are times where Kuminga will get the ball early on in a game and he's like, I got to look for mine because if I'm not scoring, I'm not impacting.
Well, he's just a little reckless, right?
Yes.
He's a little reckless. He'll take a bad shot. He may turn it over. He's running around with his head cut off because he's so jacked up.
Well, he's trying to do something positive.
Right. But now with Chris Paul to settle him down, he kind of eases into the game. But he does get off to some slow starts. He makes it work. But again, I go back to last year against the New Orleans Pelicans. Steve Kerr stuck with Jonathan Kuminga in that game where the Pelicans were up 20 at Chase Center. Remember that when Draymond Green got into it with Herb Jones, got into it with Brandon Ingram? In that second half that got lost in the sauce, Kuminga was really good in the second half. Some breakaway dunks, some great defense on Brandon Ingram, and it's just another example of him getting better as the game goes along. So to me, it just says he needs to play. Give him his
Well,
20
that- yeah,
minutes.
we would agree.
And you're going to get more good than bad.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Well, and I think that Moody needs to continue to play. Moody's giving me, he's a very different player, but he's giving me a lot of the same Iguodala intangible elements. He gives you some of the GP2 elements where it's like hustle, deflections, getting in passing lanes, you know, scrappy, athleticism, makes the extra pass, can hit the catch and shoot. I really like where both young players are at right now. I mean, it feels night and day. The beginning of this year contrasted to last year for those two.
Yep. And the great thing is so far with the Golden State Warriors is they kept the minutes down with a lot of these veterans. Steph Curry's playing like 31 minutes a game. Nobody else is really playing 30 minutes a game. Chris Paul's playing like 27. Draymond's like at 25, 26. I'll get the exact data here in a second.
Well,
but they're keeping the minutes down. So to your point about Moody, to your point about Moody playing, they're all playing. They're all playing a good amount of minutes here, and it's all about getting these guys right for April, for May, for the playoffs. That's what this regular season's about for the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, you want to get a top 5 seed, you want to get home court advantage, and you want to build good habits, but also when it comes down to the playoffs, you want to get these guys right for that postseason run. So by the time postseason comes around, Moody knows his role. Kuminga knows his role. He's going to play. The game's going to be slowed down for them, and this is going to be their time to shine. So I love the fact that the minutes have been down. And look, this has been a tough stretch for the Warriors. 7 of the first 9 on the road, 8 games in 8 different cities, and you have a chance to go 7-2. Oh, that's a big-time win for the Golden State Warriors. Think about that coming into the season. 7 of the first 9 on the road.
Oh, they've already been better than what I thought to start the year. I was much more skeptical in terms of, like, if you can be over 500 at the end of the first month, that'd be a win for me. Now I'm thinking, let's get greedy. Let's get, 5, 6, 7 games over 500. Like, try to stack as many wins as possible.